Gawai ceremony here to appease the spirits. Okay.
Oh.
I'm a member of the Kampung committee for tourism. So we are looking about reviving it back. It should be there, you know.
Yeah.
So need costing money to do it.
Can we go nearer a bit to see? Can we go nearer a bit to see the...
Yes, why not?
Wow. It's in ruins and they plan to revive this whole place. I'm gonna take a closer look. Wow. This used to be a longhouse for Gawai. This is a nice place. Too bad it has become like this.
Yeah.
You know, Saturday, Sunday is the best day for you to have sound sleep early morning.
Yeah.
Now, because of the Sadir promoting the waterfall, you see this
Bikers.
big biker.
Yes.
You wake up bloody hell.
That's the problem. That is
Up to
also...
kurang ajar punya biker.
Yeah,
I
they
tell
should
you, no,
respect the kampung.
if you don't respect them as fellow human beings, I thought of buying one pot of grease. See whether it tumble down or not.
You can just put a rock block.
No, well, because this thing here.
Oh, you can have new rules.
I think new
New
That's
rules.
why few days ago there was a visit by the resident of Kuching. I believe the present headman, although he's the most educated here, the second person in our history to be educated in England.
Okay.
He's a chartered accountant with fellow.
That's nice.
Worked with Shell until he retired. But because he spent most of his time outside the village and our life, so I think he is still hesitating how to enforce his authority.
Oh, I see.
So being his second man in the AJKK, I asked in front of the resident. I knew I go. That's the beauty about internet, you know. You Google lah. Legal system, state. What are the laws in the state? As I purposely asked the resident. The district officer was next. See, is there any provision of the law that empowers the KK of a village in any district in Sarawak to come out with certain rules, you know, guidelines, or impose fine? He said, yes, it is provided in the state law. Look at his face, just like Christmas tree, Christmas light. Come on, man, being well educated. Take that opportunity. You meet the resident or you meet the DO, get the extract from the law.
Yeah.
Then print everywhere, test everywhere in the loghouse. This is to tell you. I'm the boss. This is my authority from the government. See? So you can convene a meeting, say, okay, starting with this, we are going to do this. Everyone follow this rule. Anybody that goes against this law, my instruction, fine this much. Place it everywhere.
That's a good idea.
You know what? Some residents here, we have Trinican collecting rubbish. But easy, too lazy to bring it to the dump site. Just go the riverbank.
Oh, that's very bad.
That's very bad. So if he enforced that law, he's already given that authority. So exercise it.
Maybe he doesn't want to be that person.
Don't be a leader.
Yes.
A leader, you must be prepared
to be hated.
To be hated.
Yes.
And to be loved at the same time.
Yes.
Hating is always the first thing that comes to human being.
As long as the intention is good for everybody.
Some people look at you, how you look, you know. Hiya, this fellow. Gila, yeah,
Some
not
people
smart
look
lah.
already.
You cannot do that.
Yeah, we cannot judge people by appearance.
I'm telling some of these homestay operators, wait until the declaration comes from WHO. You think you homestay operator can survive on local tourism? No, you can't.
It's just
Because local tourism, how many are like you, nature's lover?
Yes.
Some go and sit along house and jungle trekking. Tired of.
No, the problem is people like us. We don't trek from point A to the waterfall just for the sake of taking pictures of the waterfall. We actually spend hours
Along the journey,
along the
yeah,
journey
to see the
That's why I
plants,
said you are
take
nature's
picture.
lover, no?
Yeah.
You value what is there.
A lot of times
yes.
the hikers will look at us like, what are you photographing? Is there anything on the slopes? Even they're like looking at us like Sakai, you know, what are these people doing? There's nothing interesting.
Let me ask you first. An artist, some low lah. You hit people, then you know. So, some artists are so good when they draw him exactly like him, right?
Yeah.
Most people will take that, you know. But then tomorrow maybe he goes drinking, then it comes new ideas. Abstract art. You give me an abstract painting, this one gila, this artist. But no. Those who love art
They will
know how
appreciate
to translate it, you know. What
Yeah.
is that now? Scratching here, scratching there. Same like you guys. You take photograph. I walk past. Gila.
One of the
Crossing the
reasons,
level, you gila.
it's also one of the reasons why we always don't come on a weekend, because we're annoyed. Because during the weekends, right, you have drops of people, you know.
Don't feel annoyed by comment.
No, no.
Because that is your hobby. You love it. Maybe one day, what you photograph can cost thousands of ringgit.
We are annoyed with the drops of people who scare the wildlife
I
away.
know, I know.
You know, we want it quiet so that everything is like really peaceful. Yeah. And then the thing is, we have to document things fast before they are gone, because a lot of places they are already gone.
Like
It's
me
like-
now, I regret I did not venture as a young man
Sure.
to the surrounding. I only started it when I was about to retire. Going hunting for squirrel, go up to the mountain. That's very nice. There is a species of squirrel. If it flies from one branch to another, you hold a camera, you take a picture. Very beautiful.
What color is it?
No, it's not white color. About grayish.
Oh,
Grayish. They call it the flying squirrel.
that is very rare.
Rare. This long.
I think I've seen it once. Remember I told you at the Boan there, Bung Mon.
Bungmuan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was taking aim, you know. Then one of my nephews, Uncle, don't shoot. That one is a rare species.
It's a rare protected
I
species.
said, who cares? It's protected. Put inside the kuali, put curry there.
Kesian.
Eat it. No, uncle, please, not that one.
The
So
old
I retract.
generation and the new different.
You know, retract it and look for that normal squirrel. Normal squirrel plenty here.
No.
All I know, I think 3 species here. The best is that the big one.
Oh.
Bigger than this long lah. Beautiful, you know. When we make a noise, break a twig, see, we jump from one branch to another. Beautiful, like parachute. You know?
Yeah.
So if you can
Gliding
take that, maybe they have art exhibition. You guys come up with your own. You can bring that. You see people flogging it.
Yeah.
You keep the memory of nature for
Yes.
next generation to
That's the
keep.
most important thing, to document what's here right now before it's gone.
Good,
A lot of it, they are gone already.
But people say you're crazy. Who cares about them?
No, I don't care.
But you are the person who record it during your time. Maybe when you are 70 years old,
we can
your
look back.
grandchildren will still see it, right?
Mm.
Grandpa did it. Now if I
Well,
if
it's
I
never
still
too
can
late.
walk, I love to be with your group, going around,
It's
the
never too
area
late.
that I
We would
know.
love to have you guiding us there. It would be great. Someone local who knows
You know,
the history.
now
of the
registered
place.
with Pusat Jantong. I
Okay.
have a balloon, they call it.
I see.
Okay.
Almost like that, 2012.
Oh,
You're all from Kuching? Eh?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Kuching. Yeah. We like to document insects and plants.
Good.
It's nice.
Come again, no problem. Because in this long house, every single house is your relative.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's either through your father, through your mother. Because intermarriage,
This whole place,
ah,
you're related.
this was beautiful in the old days because I remember my father was the first policeman from the village.
Oh, I see.
So I'm born in the old Sarawak General Hospital, the wooden, semi-wooden concrete near the roadside.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was born.
The crook shank there, is it?
Yeah, lah. So
old one.
raised in Kuching. Not entirely in Kuching because my father was with the. In those days they call him the field force. Now they call it General Operation Force, GOF,
GOF now.
or PGA in Malay. You know, Polis hutan lah.
The one
Yeah.
jaga the border one.
Jaga the border. They are a mixed bunch. I know it. I grew up
Yes,
in the
true. Last time
camp.
they are called the field force.
They were the soldiers of Sarawak then. You know, 1950. I was born in 56 in the city.
Yeah.
So I was raised in a place called Bukit Siol, Putrajaya. That was the first paramilitary camp where they have the shooting range there. The jungle tactic school was there.
Oh.
The cat museum now. You see all those hills.
And that is when I see from what is the name of that council building? Is it DBKS? or
DBKU.
DBKU?
DBKU.
I was at the
Cat
back
museum.
standing and looking down there. You know. That is the shooting range where I used when I was a little boy, group of us, after the shooting exercise, once the red flag is pulled down, no flag, warning flag, you can go. We will go to look for bullets. You know.
Bullet shells.
The shell we
casing.
don't need.
Okay.
It's the
the
tip.
bullet.
It's,
Okay.
because
Collect
it's
them.
used for fishing as a weight.
Oh, okay.
Some more
use-
adventurous one, the more beautiful round that is not damaged, I use it for.
Necklace.
Cool. We don't see those anymore.
No.
Nice.
This village, you must look at the history. It's an old village actually.
It's nice.
The first book written was in 1890, 1890, written about this village. And when I ask visitors from Semenanjung, in particular those from the state of Perak, I'm shocked to hear most of them don't even know the history of their state. So who wrote the book? Your third resident of Perak. Huh? Who is he? I said, amat memalukan lah you ni orang Perak. You heard about the resident that was murdered by the Malay nationalist? Birch. That's the second one. His replacement is called Huge Low. He came here to visit because he's a friend of Raina Brook, I think.
Oh, okay.
He came here, visited Kampung Sadir.
Okay.
Before it's known as Kampung Sadir, it's not Sadir. It's Bawak.
Bawang. Kampung Bawang.
Kampung Bawak.
Okay.
So he came down again and spent the night, 1 or 2 nights here. All the way by boats, you know. This used to be our highway.
Yes.
Pen
there were no
Borneo,
roads.
the first Pen Borneo. This river.
Back then, yeah.
So he spent here, you know, because he's a writer, asked about a little bit about history. Then he came out with a book, and the book was printed 1890. A visit to a land Dayak house, long house.
Interesting.
From his visit only, from that book, you 1890 now. How long? How old is it?
Yeah.
Some earlier writing pointed that this can easily be around 550 years old.
Wow.
Some historian. Of
So
course,
where all
when you
comes
say,
from.
where do you begin? You must know the culture of the Dayak. They are just like the Penan. You know, heard about the Penan? Punan or
Yep.
Penan? Nomadic. Similar. Why we are nomadic? We are searching for better place to live. If we feel that this particular area are too many sickness, evil spirit, let's move. So move into another new area. That is where at times you head on with another tribe. So fight develop. Whoever win the place.
Okay.
Not only win the place, the trophy, the heads.
The heads.
Men all chop the head off. Young boys not required, troublesome, also chop. Old ladies also chop. Keep the younger beautiful ladies for their wives.